This movie will show how to add photographs, to use the Ken Burns effect with photographs, to add a soundtrack, and to add titles. First, if you're going to add a photograph, you've probably stored them in your iPhoto account or somewhere on your desktop. So go first to there, click on the photographs, and just drag them to the timeline of your movie project. In this case, I'm going to add two still photographs. They're going to serve as the titling sequence in a short film about drawing class. I'll click back onto the timeline and I'll consider whether I want to use the Ken Burns effect. To do that, what I'll want to do is to go to the signal for cropping and check off the box that indicates the Ken Burns effect, and then I'll see two boxes right here. If I put the green box down here, it'll allow the photograph to start its display and then to move into this region where you see the eyes. That looks good. So I'll click Done. I'll move on to the next photograph and do the same thing, but this one I'm going to want just to stay static, and so I'll click Fit. That's going to mean that the whole photograph will be displayed during the course of the movie. This photograph is a little bit long though, so I'm going to take part of it. I'm going to click out first and then just select maybe the second half and hit delete. And that'll shorten the duration to about 5 beats for the amount of time that that photograph will appear. Next, I'm going to add a soundtrack. And you probably will have a bunch of music that you can use stored already in your iTunes folder. If you don't have music, generally instrumental music is best for these projects. I would go to a website like freeplaymusic.com, which will allow you to see not only music that's available, but the tempo and the mood of the music as well. I'm going to choose a piece called Gently Falling Snow. Click on it, and then drag it over into the movie timeline until that turns green. And then I'll get rid of the iTunes account, and I now have a sequence that has a soundtrack, a beginning set of pictures, and then a small film clip that's going to follow. All I need left is a title, so I go over to the T, open that bar, take one of the titles that I think will fit the project, and drag it over and drop it in the very beginning. That'll give me a title that's about just a couple of seconds. I'm going to want something that's a little bit longer, so I'm going to stretch this out until it takes most of the first photo frame. And then by clicking on it, I get my text box that'll allow me to set the title, and then I hit Done. Now as I play through this, you'll start to see the photographs, the film clip, and the title appear up in the inspector window up above. So I've now got the beginning of my film pretty well choreographed. You'll notice that in this blue bar right here is the voice track for the tape that I've taken of one of my students. To activate that, I've actually turned it off just for film purposes here. But to turn that on or adjust that, all you need to do is to click on this overall sequence of film, go up to the inspector bar, clip audio, and now you can adjust not only the volume, but also whether you want it to fade in, fade out. You can also enhance it by reducing background noise right down here. And in many cases where you have a relatively modest recording, the noise reduction can help an awful lot. Click that and you're done.